The Amityville Horror. Yes, you can see the text, you can see the house, you can see the eyes. It's the 1979, the OG. Yes.
Yes, not the Ryan Reynolds, Melissa George one, not the
No,
2005.
or the other 28 and counting Amityville
Yeah,
Horror films. Yes, I had no idea
there's
there was that many. That
special,
is berserk.
there's some special titles in there.
That is absolutely. What ones have you seen?
Well, I've seen the main Amityville films, like the ones that are actually kind of based on the premise.
Hmm.
I did
Hmm.
watch the remake with Ryan Reynolds and Melissa George, and I tried to watch Amityville in space.
Did it go to
Uh,
space? Of course it did, if there was 30 and
yeah,
counting. Yeah.
I couldn't do it. Like it was so badly made. Um, it was just terrible.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
it was
I can
night swim
imagine.
terrible.
Ooh. Speaking of space movies, just quickly, I have just, in my research, in my earning of my horror card, I've gone through all 10 now. So that does include Jason X, Friday the
Mm.
13th movies.
Yep.
And so I've seen Jason X, and yeah, when a franchise goes to space, gloves are off. Just let's go.
Yeah.
I have seen this when I was young, and it did spook me. And there is good reasons and very interesting reasons why. Having watched it now, this is the first time in decades that I've actually sat down and watched this thing. Two times very disjointed watchings, but complete watchings, if you know what I mean. But that kind of suits this movie, but we'll get into
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
um, yeah, did you want to mention any other history or general thoughts
Well,
without going deep into any no spoilers, etc., please?
sure. Now, my history with this is probably more about the book than the movie. I would have read the Amityville Horror book probably a dozen times when I was younger, because obviously I like the movie tie-in books. Obviously, this came out before the movie did, and more it was more factual. It lent more into the factual side of it than the scary side of it, which to me was actually scarier. I
Mhm,
found I found
mhm,
the book
mhm.
scarier than the movie.
I can imagine. Of course, there's the elephant in the room, whatever color you want it to be. Uh, that this is a huge, let's say iconic, as the kids say, true
Yeah,
crime case.
sure.
Yeah, the Amityville Horror. Uh, we're not going to get into the true crime of it. Yeah, is that fair to say, Baron? We haven't discussed
Yeah,
this off, yeah.
yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah. It's linked up with the Warrens. It's linked up with the Conjuring movies, James Wan. It's a whole
Yeah,
thing. It's a whole thing. It's not great. It's exploitive, however you want to say that word. The Warrens aren't cool people. Yeah, and this guy, the Amityville people, there's a few of them, but the main guy, yeah. Look
yeah.
into it if you want to go into it. Go listen to the last podcast on the left or something. Yeah. We are looking at the movie. Is that cool to say, Baron? Not to
Yeah,
do a
correct,
unilateral
correct.
thing. Yeah. Okay, cool.
The best documentary I saw is from a company called Shock Docs.
Okay, cool.
It's called Amityville Horror House. So if you want to see a documentary about it that's actually quite good, Shock Docs Amityville Horror House is probably the one to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we want to look at the filmmaking. Because
Yeah.
if you look at the true crime with it in tandem, it's going to potentially sully the filmmaking.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
they're different sides. They're different
Yeah, they are.
esoteric
Yeah. Yeah.
that don't attach to each other, but are
Yeah.
part of the whole.
Yeah, completely different cinemas. Go watch that movie down the road. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Watch ours first, and that's a good point to point out. If you haven't seen this, go see it. It's on
yep.
Prime. Just came on.
And I don't know if we say spoiler alert for a movie that came out 45 years ago.
That's a point. That's a point. Yeah, it's one of those ones. I checked it off. I basically colored back in the square because it had faded horribly.
Yeah.
And yeah, and if you need to do the same, do the same. But yeah, you've got a point there, Barrett. Yes, this is the Amityville Horror. You'll know the house. You'll know those goddamn eyes.
Yeah.
And yeah, what sort of house is that?
A scary one.
Scary one. It's not the Adams family house or anything, though. You know
No,
what I
no.
mean?
But I believe someone might actually have it as an Airbnb now.
Yeah, I think that's the case. It was on sale at one point, or more than one
Yeah.
point, I think.
It's been
Could
renovated.
you sway your head left to right? Choice is yours. See, that's the house there, people. That's the best. Yeah, you can see it in the day, and then when it
Yeah.
transforms at night. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what type of movie is this, Baron? This
Uh,
is
it, it,
yeah,
it's
it's
hard to pin down.
interesting, isn't it?
It's hard to
Yeah,
pin down.
yeah, yeah.
It's not technically a horror, though it has horror elements. It's not technically a thriller. It's not a religious film, but it is and isn't. Um,
In
we
a possession paradigm framework, however you want to put it. But the way, because the first, what's the word? The first occurrence of a possession of a, so this is a possession of a house, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and the
Like it's a
infestate.
full swimming pool.
Mm. And it's playing on the concept, yeah, and it's playing on the concept as a house contain its memories? Does it withhold that energy? It's that whole kind of theory of a haunted house. It's one I actually, yeah, I kind of believe in, because yeah, I've lived in a few haunted houses, needless to say. But yeah, well, leave it there. And that's one of the reasons why this movie spooked me as a kid. And I thought that the way that a house can contain its memories and not let you go, um, until you experience it yourself. No, that's a lame way to put it. We'll go into it. We'll go into it. But yeah, please, after you. Please, you, please.
So yeah, I think the fact that this is a true story
Mm.
uh, does lend this film a lot of energy.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Same as like okay, we were talking just before we started about Wolf Creek. Wolf Creek has the same sort of thing, but we know Wolf Creek is made up from whole cloth, although it is based on actual events that may or
Hmm.
may not what they look like on screen. Same as with this.
Hmm.
Like bad things happened in this house
Mm.
and bad people were in this house. Now, whether it's exactly what happened that we see on screen or not, very few of us will ever find that out. And I
Yeah,
think that they made this at a time where they were exploiting the energy that had been built up around this story um, to make the
yeah,
film.
absolutely. And you've had The Exorcist and The Omen in the 70s before
Yeah.
this. This is at the
Yep.
tail end of that. And you can
Yep.
see some filming kind of like techniques and principles definitely being applied,
Yeah.
influence from those previous films. And why not? Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
But the infestation, the first layer, the first occurrence of the possession of the house, like the flies is the best example. Yeah, when the priest goes in, because there's a religious element to this. Is it demonic? Is it the house? Is it the house? I think it leans more to the house. Yeah, and I think that is portrayed and conveyed stronger in this film. But the priest goes in, he sits down, and then this flies occur. It's just flies. Yeah, and the buzzing gets louder and louder. And what did you think of this scene of this when this kind of infestation started to happen in this way, Baron?
I like the practical fact that they used actual flies.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
lent the film verisimilitude. Like it's like, no, these are
Mhm.
actually flies.
Good
They
word.
haven't been
Good word.
painted on. They're not CG. So it gave that sort of creepy, disgusting, like you could almost
It
smell the
got
scene.
gross. Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was very visceral.
hmm hmm
and
And
real.
the priest's reaction was good. It's 70s acting. They won't deter you if you're familiar with the style at the time. If you're not, just remember this was the style at the time. Go back and look at a 1920s film. You're not going to apply it to now. Yeah, you're not going to apply a 1970s film to now. This is like 50 years ago, pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
Do we know if they shot this on film or on VH or on tape? Because it had a very TV feel to it.
Mm, it did. It did. How did you feel about that? Because you've got wonderfully subtle storytelling, quite original, unique storytelling, I would say, certainly for its time, as opposed to this kind of, yeah, as you were saying, this TV grade production and the acting style, which was good when it needed to, it was all good. It showed what it needed to show, but it
Yeah.
was still
Yeah.
very erratic at times, I think is the best way that I can put it.
I think that's down to the editing, actually. I don't know that this was particularly
Okay.
well edited.
You don't think
Uh,
it was? Sorry, I can't quite,
no,
didn't
I
quite
don't
make
think it
that.
was particularly well edited. Like,
Okay. Good,
but
good,
that
good, nice.
may have been it may have been a choice to make it feel visually discordant.
Yes, because we have the father. Let's have a look at the cast. Let's have a look. Let's get the
So
details out the way, shall we?
James Brolin playing George Lutz.
Now, who is
Um,
James Brolin? Baron, you have to announce this.
James Brolin has been in a bunch of stuff. Um, so he was Westworld, Capricorn One. He still works. Like he's the narrator of the new Sweet Tooth series.
Oh,
Uh,
oh, really?
he's
Okay.
he's been in a bunch of stuff. But most notably, sorry, let me get his list up. As an act, 143 credits on IMDb.
And also, more, and personally, who's he the father of?
Oh, I had this written down and I don't have it. Sorry. Go on, you go. The Addams Family? No.
And no. Think more space of
Oh,
universal
Billy
dominance.
Thanos. Yes, yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I learned that. Huh?
I was going to say I thought I was going deeper than that. Yes, you're right. Yes, his
Yeah,
son killed half of the universe.
absolutely. Um, and he is quite the man. He's quite the 70s man. He has the lion's mane, the beard, the chest.
Yeah, very
Uh,
mountain.
and he's good. All the
Mm.
acting is good, but I think you're right with the editing there. But it's directed by Stuart Rosenberg. The writers are, sorry, my
Sandor
eyes.
Stern, Jay
Jay,
Anson, and
thank you.
George Lutz.
George Lutz, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me get to there we are, bigger older text for older people, their children on the Wikipedia.
I thought Margaret
Cast.
Kidder was
Okay.
excellent as Kathy Lutz. She did a really good performance.
Now, who are the Lutzes there, Baron, for the children, please?
So they're the married couple that buy the house. So
Yes,
they have children, but they're not they are it's a recombined family, like a Brady Bunch kind of thing, where they're
absolutely. Yeah,
not
that's him.
their
Yeah,
children
nice.
as a couple.
So that's portrayed by James Brolin as George Lutz and Margot Kidder as Kathleen or Kathy Lutz.
Yep.
Rod Steiger is Father Francis. Frank Delaney, he was the one with the flies, the priest with the flies before. He's
Yep.
good. He's really quite good. Yes. He worked well with the religious material that he was given, so to speak.
Mm. Oh yes.
Who else
Um,
is worth mentioning, Baron?
Actually, that's about it for the sort of worth
Yeah,
mention.
for your main
I
cast, for
will
your
I will indicate that in the opening scene where the police are clearing out the house from the murder before the Lutzes buy the house, um, uncredited is James Tolkien, who played the principal of the high school in the Back to the Future films, still with
okay,
no
yeah.
hair. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice,
He
nice.
that was interesting. Um, for those people that are interested in what else Rod Steiger has done, let's see if there's anything particular horror based. From here, no, that's not really horror. He hasn't done an awful lot of horror. He's done a lot of westerns and cop stuff.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. That kind of makes sense with the action and the
yeah,
freaking out, that kind of editing. Yeah. And actually camera angle framing it as well. Because it's
yeah,
close up, it's claustrophobic as like a cop lets it get up there and all that sort of thing in the city, all tight and
um,
gritty. Yeah, that makes sense.
so yeah, so not a lot of horror. Not actually, honestly, the actors in this, not a lot of horror amongst the
Hmm.
people that I've had a look at.
Hmm.
Uh,
Is that it?
yeah,
Yeah, no,
so
you've got it is a family drama and with
yeah,
a monster. Yeah, it's that
yeah,
classic traditional horror, and the monster happens to be the house.
yeah.
Why it
It's a
is the
horror.
house is because I'll start at the top of Wikipedia here. It's a
Oh,
1979 American supernatural horror film. This is the Amityville Horror, directed by Stuart Rosenberg and starring James Brolin, Margot Kidder, and Rod Steiger. The film follows a young couple who purchase a home haunted by combative, sure, supernatural forces. Now, it's based on Jay Anson's 1977 book of the same name. Is that the one you read? Yes?
yes, correct.
Yes, excellent. Which documented the alleged paranormal experiences of the Lutz family, that's Lutz, who briefly resided in the Amityville, New York home, which is that's New England, isn't it?
Yes, Long Island.
Long Island. There you go.
So,
Where,
New York.
yeah, yeah, where Ronald DeFeo Jr. committed the mass murder of his family in 1974. It was the first entry in the long-running Amityville horror film series and was remade in 2005. That's the Ryan Reynolds number, yes?
Yeah,
It's 2005, yeah.
2005. Yeah. So Ronald DeFeo killed his father, mother, two brothers, and two sisters.
Okay.
Sentenced to 6 counts of 25 years to life. He died in prison in 2021.
Now, is that by shotgun? Does it specify that?
Uh,
Because that's the opening of the film, pretty much.
let's have a look. Let's have a look.
It's a
Uh,
dark movie, children.
it
This
really
this is
is.
it's a dark movie, this one, yeah. For 1979, absolutely.
Yes. So they were killed by shotgun.
Yeah, okay, so they stuck to that. All right. Executive producer Samuel Z. Arkoff originated the project after purchasing the right to Anson's book, and it was initially conceived as a television film. Yeah, sure. Which Anson adapted himself. When Arkoff rejected the teleplay, it was reworked by screenwriter Sandon Stern. Could you look up
Yep.
what Sandor's done, please?
I'm already on it.
Here we go.
So
As a feature film.
Amityville. So Sandon Stern wrote for the 79 and the 2005. I'm guessing they probably just used the 79 material for the 2005. I mean, it was
Hmm.
pretty much
Hmm.
identical.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Okay,
let's
that's
see.
cool. I might watch that. Is it worth watching?
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's better than the Psycho remake.
Ugh. I know it's the same, but yeah, that thing. What an
Yeah.
indulgent waste of time.
And once again, not a lot of horror in his or their or her um,
Mhm.
back history here.
Excuse me there, children. Just readjusting. I'm sinking into the corner.
So yeah, so confirmation that they used the 79 screenplay credits for the 2005. So yeah, so that's why there's a credit for the 2005.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. All right. The
Sandals.
Sandor Stern. All right. The producers intended to shoot the film in the actual DeFeo residence. It's the 70s. But its owners denied them permission. Filming instead began on location in Toms River, New Jersey. Okay, we're still in the same area, basically,
It's not that far.
larger New York, shall we say, in October 1978. This is all around the time I popped out there, Baron. Yeah, which is always, interesting if you're that person.
Sure.
Followed by interior. Okay, sorry. Okay, so it was a film instead began on location in Toms River, New Jersey in October 1978, followed by interior shoots occurring at the Golden Mayer sound stages in Los Angeles, which were completed just before the Christmas holiday. The Amityville Horror had its world premiere at the Museum of Modern Art.
Mm, interesting.
Fancy. On July 24, 1979, before receiving a wide theatrical release 3 days later. The film was a major commercial success and one of the most profitable films released by its distributor. Yeah, it did really well. Did really
Yeah,
well.
so it
People
cost them
with
just under $5 million to make, and its grosses worldwide were about 86 to 87 million. So it did really well.
nice because it was catching that wave. It was the end of that wave, but the wave was still strong enough to make that amount of money of The Omen, The Exorcist, Phantasm. I would put into that category as
Yeah.
well. The OG one, yeah. Uh, Poltergeist, it's getting a bit more, Steven Spielberg with a little bit of Hooper, but
A
that's
little bit
another
more
story.
sci-fi.
Yeah. Okay, so where are we up to? Christmas. Yes, the Amityville Horror had its world premiere at the Museum of Modern Art, 1979, July 24, before receiving a wide theatrical release 3 days later. Yeah, major commercial success, profitable films released by its distributor, American International Pictures, went on to gross over 80 million. North America becoming one of the highest grossing independent films of all time. I wonder where that stands today. That still has to be up there. As well as one of the highest grossing horror films in cinema history. Wow. Though met with largely unfavorable critical reviews at the time of its release. Composer Lalo Schifrin's musical score earned the film Golden Globe and Academy Award nominations, while Kidder received a Saturn Award nomination for Best Actress.
Hmm.
What do you think of this film overall? Well, yeah, just in general. Don't think we really touched on that properly.
Um, okay, so it's a classic for a reason. Um, but I think it suffers from I think the editing, it suffers from the editing. And I think it suffers from the fact that it is now 45
Mhm,
years old. So I watched it again today after work.
mhm,
Um, and I will admit to not being unsettled by it.
mhm,
But I
mhm.
remember
Agreed.
being remarkably unsettled by it when I watched it the first time.
Mhm, mhm.
Uh, so I think it's good. I think it's a classic for a reason, but I think it was mm, I think it was
You don't, we could leave
cheaply. I
it till
think
later if you wanted to.
no,
That's
it's
kind
all good.
of,
I'm just trying to put this. It's not that I don't like it, but I
mhm.
think it. I don't think I like it as much as I used to.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's good to say for now. And I do understand
Yeah.
where you are coming from.
Yeah.
Um, I thought it was interesting having not seen it as a kid, where it was just more of a fever dream than anything else, as you can
Yeah.
imagine, because I'm talking 5 or 6 years old type of thing. Um, it was one of those movies that was always on the TV in the background. Yeah, back in the
Yeah.
day. Um, Watching it now in context of the other films that I mentioned, Exorcist, Omen, et al., I thought it was quite interestingly done. I thought it took some swings, absolutely,
Yeah.
and some of them did not work. A lot of them hit hard, though, that were home runs. There's definitely home runs in this movie. And I thought it was, yeah, because largely of the way the house is the monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked that. I really liked that. And I thought that it built nicely, apart from the little, lots of wobbly moments where they kind of fall drunkenly, violently, almost down the stairs because they've had a bit too much. Yeah. But then they stand up and be okay. Like our man, who's the father, Josh?
James Brolin.
Yeah, Josh is the father's name, though, the character, yes?
No, no, it's George.
George, thank you, George Lutz. Like the way he switches, yeah, in this
Mm.
movie, but we'll get into it. Yeah, we'll get into it. Um, so yeah, I can't give it, I can't make it like into the, no, it's not making it into the pantheon. Absolutely not.
No,
But
no,
really glad we have covered it because thank you, their children, thank you, the rest of the cast here. For letting me just, do this and indulge my little, check
yeah,
this off the list again. And I think it's a good one to
yeah.
touch on. Yeah, so, but we'll get into that more later with the rating once we've gone through the plot. Um, okay.
There are a lot of films that we only have because this film exists. So this film walks so other films can run.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, a contemporary haunted house film. Yes, it's quite a definitive haunted house film. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Stephen King interprets the film as a parable of the anxieties of home ownership and financial ruin,
Yeah.
citing the economic crisis of the 1970s and the
I mean,
film's
that even
frequent.
comes up a couple of times in the film where money is a
Mm,
big thing. It
it
comes up a couple
is
of
correct. And the film's frequent references to financial matters, a reading which has been similarly assessed by other film scholars. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, fair. Okay, now, Vamp, please. I'm not you. See, we've got Scott Driscoll, and House. And yes, if I took off my hoodie, it'd be ridiculous. So
Yeah, yeah.
this needs to change. Give me one moment.
So yes, I'm just having a look now at the list of the films that have come out. So Amityville the Horror, Amityville 2 the
Mm,
Possession, Amityville 3D,
yeah,
Amityville 4 the Evil Escapes, Dollhouse, Horror, Haunting, Asylum, Death House,
keep
Playhouse,
going.
No Escape,
I'm
Vanishing
getting
Point.
emojis. I'm getting my emojis. Go.
It's just Amityville Prison, The Evil Never Dies,
Prison.
Exorcism, Murders, Vampire, Amityville Karen, Amityville Christmas Vacation. I
Vampire.
mean,
How is a
like,
vampire meant to work? What? That
I
doesn't even
don't
make
know.
sense.
Amityville Shark House, Amityville Bigfoot, Amityville Emmanuel.
Bigfoot.
I mean,
Oh,
and
because.
Amityville Space isn't even mentioned here.
Mhm, mhm.
So it's
No,
spawned a lot of, like,
no, it's not
it's
happening.
inspired a lot of people to do a lot of work.
I'll bring up my
Um,
watch list at the end, but that's certainly not going on it.
yeah,
I,
particularly 2011. Like a lot of this has happened since 2011. Like in the last 12 years, it's two-thirds of these films have come out.
wow, that's absurd.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's amazing just how much wild trash is being made as well as really good stuff at the same time. The Mickey Mouse movie is meant to be one of the worst. It's still like worse than the first Pooh movie.
okay. Oh,
So
the
I've heard from people who've seen it. Say that again.
Blood and Honey, I think it was called, wasn't it? The Winnie the Pooh one, and then there's the
Yeah.
Steamboat Willie version
Yeah, the
thing of whatever.
Steamboat Willie is meant to be worse than Blood and Honey, did you say? Is that the name of it?
Yes.
Okay. It's almost sacrilegious. But anyway, yeah, that's enough. I'm not going to say anymore. Um, okay. I think we're good. Is that all the details we need so we can get into the
Um,
story?
yeah, I think so. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, watch it.
Hmm.
It is something that you need to be able to say you've seen, simply because of the effect that it's had on future on cinema past it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're a haunted house film fan, and particularly if you haven't seen this, rectify immediately,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because it is worth the watch, definitely. Okay. What will we give it? Well, we just wait. First, we must know what happens. In the early morning hours of November 13, 1974, Ronald DeFeo Jr. Okay, yep. This movie is a lot. So, heads up. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's there's kid death.
Yeah.
I think it's the biggest one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what we need to cover. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Murders his entire family with a rifle at their home of 112 Ocean Avenue in Amityville, New York. Let me say that again. I'm going to edit that, yeah, so I can get that clean. All right. In the early morning hours of November 13, 1974, Ronald DeFeo Jr. murders his entire family with a rifle at the home of 112 Ocean Avenue in Amityville, New York. 1 year later, middle-class newlyweds George and Kathy Lutz move into the house with Kathy's 3 children from a prior marriage. George, Matt, and Amy. Very Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a complete switch of tone, of course. Yeah. We've all seen it before. We've watched the movies. The happy family moves into the new home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether it turns good or bad, that depends on the genre you watch. So, yeah, you're an evil popcorn. So let's go.
It's going to go
Despite
bad.
George, despite George's son of a bitch, irreligiosity, Kathy, Kathy, a nominal Roman Catholic, requests, and that's Kidder, yeah,
Margot
requests,
Kidder, like
yeah, Margot
Lois
Kidder.
Lane in the Superman films.
Okay, thank you. I thought she was famous. Yes, that's like when Jason Goes to Hell. Do you remember the waitress?
Oh, vaguely, yeah.
Yeah, she was in Buck Rogers.
Oh, she
Yeah.
was too.
And I couldn't place it the first time. Second time, I had to look it up, and I was like, "That's her." Yeah, because I love that. That beep, 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 beep. Of course, I watched the shit out of that as a kid. Anyway,
Yeah.
different podcast. Now she requests that a Jesuit priest. I'm reading off Wikipedia. Yeah,
Yep.
okay. If I have anything wrong, let me know. Their children or Baron. Yeah,
Yes.
requests a Jesuit priest, Father Delaney, to bless the home. Delaney arrives while the family is out boating on the Long Island Sound. Yeah. Upon entering the house, Delaney is swarmed by flies upstairs. Hold on. Let's pause. Okay. Delaney entering the house.
Yep.
How did you feel about this? Was there anything odd about it, did you feel, Baron?
The front door was unlocked. He just walked in. Like it was I know it was the 70s and that kind of thing happened.
He's the
But yeah,
priest. They know him. They do know him. Yes. That's not
well,
established. We find that out later. Yeah.
yeah, it's not established that they know him. So you think he's just some priest walking into the house. It's almost as weird as the interaction Kathy has at the back door with the guy with the 6-pack with the
Huh.
beers. We're all going to come
Yeah.
over and say hi to you, and then he's gone. So it was a really weird sort of feeling. No,
But this
there was
guy
no
with the 6-pack, he's a homeless guy. He's a vagrant. Yeah.
yeah,
And it's a 6-pack of cheap ass beer that he just kind of holds up.
yeah,
No person, certainly not a woman by themselves, is going to open the door to this gentleman. Yeah. So the creep factor, let's call it the creep factor for now, starts pretty much there.
yeah,
Yeah. Just thought about that when you pointed that out. Um, but anyway, Delaney. Yeah, my big thing is when he goes upstairs, and because prior to that, just before, they're gone to how do you put this? Christen the house, the happy couple,
yeah, yeah,
just before he arrives, pretty much.
yeah,
And so we think there's the sounds upstairs, and he's just oblivious. Hello, like his father Ted.
yeah,
And he's about to open the door to go in. I'm like, no, what are you? No, who is this? No.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was odd. I thought that was just, yeah.
No, it definitely felt off.
Yeah. Yes. 70s or otherwise.
Yeah,
So that's the little kind of, that's not the discordancies. Hmm. That comes next with the flies. Yeah. Where things
yeah,
begin to get discordant. Yeah.
yeah,
This is just, yeah, we could have touched up that moment a bit more. Yeah. We could have just put a one moment of establishment, or yeah. Or he could have gone, I'll just wait down here in the lounge until you're done. Make it a funny moment. Yes. And I'm
yeah.
the priest, as well there. Whatever.
Even then, like he has the opportunity, he sees them playing outside. He has the opportunity to reverse course and go and meet them outside, to let them know that he's there.
Uh, this is probably just me, but they deserve it. This wasn't pre-established that they knew who the priest was. So there's this priest who's walked in the window and he sees a bunch of children outside and he starts grinning through the window.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I started to
That was
mistrust the
really
guy.
weird too. Like, it was a weird
Yeah,
smile.
weird smile. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that was. Anyway, anyway. Okay. But this is where the flies happen. Yes. He can't open the window. So the flies are outside, then they're inside, then there is on his face. Um,
There were a lot of flies too.
yeah. It's hard to understand what is happening at first, would you say?
Yes.
Because they're not a physical threat. You just leave the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You swat them, you get whatever. But the way he's acting to this acting is melodramatic in these moments, absolutely. But it suits these moments definitely because it's an internal something going on that is spoon fed to us throughout
Yeah.
the layers to it, the depth to it, however you want to put it. Yeah. And so I appreciated this movie. I think that's one of its big gold stars for me. This because they
Yeah.
all do it. The father does it as well. Yeah, George Lutz. Yeah, in particularly well. Okay, yeah. So and Delaney is swarmed by flies upstairs, and hears a hostile voice ordering him to leave. I love how the flies stopped, the sound stopped because the soundtrack,
Yeah.
their children, is just buzzing that intensifies. Stop. Door swings open, and the voice is demonic, but it's not. Do yes, I am a demon. It's this cold, sharp whisper.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It
Really
was good.
liked it.
Good
Uh,
voice.
thank you. Thank you. This causes orders him to leave, which causes him to flee. The next day, Kathy's aunt Helena, a nun, visits and pinches the cheeks of the children. Any thoughts on Helena?
Weird.
Yeah, a lot.
Like just off, so off-putting and like just like at right angles to reality. Like who has an aunt that's a nun? Like
Uh,
and then she was acting like she wasn't acting like a nun.
no,
That might be down to the
it was
actor.
like something out of Sound of Music on cocaine.
Yeah, yeah. She
Yeah,
was it was it rang a wrong chord.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get overall what you're going for, and that does ring a quick question. I mentioned 1920s, throw out the cabinet of Dr. Caligari out there. You've seen it, yes?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
And the acting in that, like they're a corpse, of course, because what they're echoing is the corpses of World War One, blah blah blah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's that hypnotized by the terror, etc., etc. Are we going to look at this style of acting soon? The way we will, almost the way we look at that, and
Um,
it might take another 50 years, but it's kind of going to happen, isn't it? Kind of can't
yeah.
help it. Kind of can't
Yeah.
help it. It's appreciate it, still like it, but it's otherworldly almost at times.
Yeah. Alien.
Yeah, alien. Yeah, yeah. Just an observation. Doesn't sully the movie. Oh,
No, no, but you're right. It is.
that's
It
down to
becomes an
opinion.
artifact out of time.
Yeah, and that's important when you look at these films, definitely.
Yeah.
I've watched all the Friday movies in the past couple of weeks, 1 to 10, and I had to, and that was my basically education in doing that because that quality vacillates.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It really
wildly.
does.
Yeah, yeah. Like it overall. Opinion of Jason has improved, but another
Mm.
episode, another episode. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Okay. So your priest has run out and the nun has replaced him.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, but she becomes violently ill and leaves abruptly. This confounds Kathy. Are the toilets around here? Or am I jumping all over the place?
No, I
You,
think you're right.
yeah, you remember the toilets?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the black viscous liquid.
Black
Shout
goo.
out Evil Corp. Hair flash.
Yeah. So it comes back at the end, remember, as well.
The starts coming out
He
of the
falls,
toilet.
well,
Yeah.
he falls through the floor into the
Yeah.
red room, and it's
Yeah.
full of the
That's
black
it.
goo as well.
Yeah. 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 Oh, was that not blood? That was the black goo. Nice. Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank
It
you.
might have been, well, it
That's
could have been the lighting. It could have been the lighting. It might have been red, but it looked really black to
black
me.
goo's much nicer tie-in.
Yeah.
What we're getting to, sorry, John, we're jumping around a bit here, but this movie does that. This kind of like oil is pretty much the greatest simile I could throw
Yeah.
out there. Yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah, fossil fuel oil starts bubbling out of the toilet and just starts spilling out all over the floor. And then the nun arrives. She becomes violently ill. Yes, because they haven't fucking whoever wrote this get your shit together. And leaves abruptly. Yes, and this confounds Kathy. There's lots of confounding Kathy. Kathy is largely confounded
Yeah.
until things progress. Yes, but the
I think
way
she's the last one to
Margot,
be affected.
sorry,
I think she's the last one to be affected.
I think so. I think so. But she's not ditzy or anything like that. Margot, she's written well, and Margot Kidder portrays her very well.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, she's a very 70s maternal mother. She just wants everyone to be in love with each other and be happy, pretty much
Yeah.
enjoy the new home, pretty
Happy
much.
enough.
Yes, as a dad who is starting to be affected because his mood has started to be affected by this. He's starting to feel the cold perpetually, can't get warm, feeding the fire. Has he
Has to keep
has he's chopped the wood?
chopping the wood. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Brolin's look in his eyes, I think he's got eye drops on to affect his red eyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But saying that, his makeup, yes, but he's really using it to his advantage because he's far away. He's distressed about something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah, we've all seen that look. We've all had that look, and it's real. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the actors work well with the sometimes discordant material we've got here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So give me a sec. Now, the Lutz's domestic life begins a sharp decline over the ensuing week. So that's what I've been kind of painting the picture of there. George becomes uncharacteristically volatile, abusive, obsesses over keeping the house warm. Despite Kathy's insistence that it is not cold, George Rea currently awakes at 3:15 a.m. I know there's 3 o'clock is the witching hour, yes, and I believe its basis, well, the one that I've liked the most out there that I'm going to throw out there is an inversion of the Holy Trinity, because 3 is also God's hour. Yeah, Holy Trinity, 3. Yeah, so 3 a.m. Yeah. There's 12 o'clock there, but this is more of a satanic thing than a Halloween thing that they're touching on here, which is also
Yeah.
very 70s style for these movies. Definitely.
100%.
You've got the black dog. What's his name? Arthur?
Harry, I think.
Harry's. Yep, yep. And that those were in the Omen for a biblical reason. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's not heavy duty though. Don't worry. Don't worry if you're not into that. It's not heavy duty. It's more the house than the religious aspects. But he does
Sure.
awake at 3:15 a.m. and I can't forget the actual origin of why it's 3:15, but it's within that whole spectrum, yeah, of imagery. Okay, so the same time the Defoes were murdered. I just read that on Wikipedia.
There you
Just
go.
after I said all that. Editing, editing, editing. While Kathy suffers disturbing nightmares. Okay, she hasn't had let's not spoil it yet, but she hasn't had the big nightmare yet at this stage, yeah?
Oh,
Just making sure this guy's not jumping around too much. Apologies, I haven't written out beat by beat into you there, Baron. Been busy,
good.
busy. It's October, spooky season. I'm a scare actor. I work at 2 macabre entertainment establishments. Yeah. Excuses, maybe, but I'm human. Okay. The same time that the same time the Defoes were murdered, while Kathy suffers disturbing nightmares. Before Kathy's brother's engagement party one night. Okay, this bit, yeah. Okay. This seemed like a time jump. Did this seem like a time jump to you when the much older son appeared?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and no, was there any pre-establishment of that? Yeah,
No.
okay, didn't think so. And So I thought, have we gone into the future? Because what happened to, because this is sort of
Yeah.
episodically kind of following day one,
Yeah.
day two, day three, yeah?
Chapters, basically.
Chapters, yeah. And then, okay, and so this is a real Brady Bunch. This is a real Brady Bunch, yeah. Anyway, he's because he's about 20, 18 to 20.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like he's going to go to the prom, buying his first, home kind of age with his, new wife. So it could
Yeah.
be anywhere. It could be anywhere around that age, is that age. But anyway, it seemed like a time joke because it was just, and it was because it was just scene to scene. Yeah. But anyway, this is this movie. This is the discordancy of this movie. Okay. Before Kathy's brother's engagement party one night, $1,500 cash to be paid to the caterer inexplicably goes missing in the house. Meanwhile, the babysitter watching Amy for the evening is locked inside a bedroom closet by an unseen force. Okay, let's pad that out a bit because that's got more to it there. What did you think of Jodie?
The babysitter,
No, 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 no.
excellent,
The huh?
the excellent performance on the babysitter, I thought.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. No, but Jodie, the imaginary friend.
Oh, right, yes, of course. Sorry, yes,
Yeah, no, you're right.
Jodie not seen on screen.
Mm.
Yes. Well, I mean, I'm colored by having read the book.
Okay,
Jodie is
okay.
obviously is one of the spirits in the house, um, who means most of them ill, if not all. Wants them out of the house, but also wants to play.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
thought the
Only
portrayal,
with only with the girl, the daughter. Yeah,
with the daughter.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Makes sense.
But the portrayal of the imaginary friend spirit by the young actress was really good.
Yeah, she was great. She was,
Wasn't
wasn't
over.
she?
Um,
Let's point her out.
Seemed
I
to
don't know.
be actual fear in her voice when she said, "Jodie wouldn't let me open the door."
Mm, mm. Okay, so she was a Lutz. That's Amy,
Amy Natasha Ryan, I believe, is the actress's
Natasha,
name.
right? Okay. What does she go on to do whilst we're here? If she did anything else?
Days of Our Lives.
Oh, she was in
The
The Entity. Have you seen The Entity?
I have, yes.
That's a dark one. That's a heavy
It
one.
really is.
Yeah.
The daytime ended. Future was in an episode of Future Cop, episode of the $6 Million Man, Starsky
Okay.
and Hutch.
She
Oh,
works
actually,
around that time.
Kingdom of the Spiders. Ooh,
Which one?
She was in Kingdom of the Spiders with William Shatner, the one where the giant tarantulas take over the world.
Would you like to watch that movie together?
Kingdom of the Spiders.
Yes. If we
Oh,
want to just
oh.
have a relaxed kind of just like laugh along. We could even make it a watch along. Sorry, I'm riffing here, but I saw it once at a party or just a few drinks over playing pool, and it was one of the most hilarious spiders. William
Oh,
Shatner
it's
is off the
ridiculous.
chain in that movie. He is just going ham on it. Yeah, he knows what he's doing, and what the movie that he's in, and it's going. If you want cheese, let's go. Yeah, just
Yeah,
rack him up. Just and then the girl over the shoulder. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
They call me
But
Rack. Why? Because I rack him up. I mean, it's
with
berserk.
without Kingdom of the Spiders, we don't get eight-legged freaks or arachnophobia.
Yeah, Eight-Legged Freaks was a lot of fun, and Arachnophobia is one of my favorite childhood movies. Rest in peace, Julian Sands. I don't know if we've ever said that on the podcast. I think that you would be the right person to share the podcast with. Yeah, there,
Oh,
Baron
yeah,
Sands.
100%.
Yeah, yeah.
He like the he just yeah, and the way he died, it just I do not wish that on anyone.
Hey, hey.
Yeah,
Gothic, man, Gothic. That's what opened this world. The world that you don't see on just what's shown on television, taught to you on schools, however you
yeah,
want to put it. You know what I mean? When you start to discover yourself, one of those little, hidden portals, however you want to call it. Yeah. And
yeah,
certainly with cinema, when it was like, oh, it's not all Arnold Schwarzenegger and Stallone, no shade, etc. But
mhm.
it was like, there's this whole other world there. And that was the gateway. That was definitely the gateway. And of course, he was a big part of that. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Of which one?
Ken Russell's Gothic.
Oh yes, yeah, yeah, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I am going to cover it one day. Yeah. Anyway, that's another story. Back to the movie. Dun, dun,
What we talking
dun.
about?
Arachnophobia is where we ended. Then Julian Sands, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Okay. She's locked inside. Yeah. And yeah, and she and yeah, and so yeah, but the babysitter is distressed.
Yes.
And yeah,
And
Amy is just
beautifully done.
watching. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Really nice, really nice. You get the sense of menace beginning to build because this is cruel. This is cruel. Is what is
Yeah.
happening here. Yeah, cruelty
Yeah.
is starting to occur. Yeah, and therefore, I think they're starting to get onto the second layer of infestation. Yeah. The Conjuring follows the same principles, the same basically plot beats, and certainly in terms of the
Yeah.
possession. Yeah, just a lot
Okay.
louder and in your face, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. Further unexplained incidents occur when one of the two boys suffers a crushed hand when the window falls on it.
Yeah.
What did you think? You're our in-house, or Shadow Dorian as well, but that's a different side.
Mm.
For now, with
There's a
what do you
couple
think of
of
the
shots.
prosthetic work and the acting response, etc.?
Yeah, there's a couple of shots where there's no blood and then there's blood.
Okay, okay.
There's a little bit of a goof with that.
Hmm.
Um, Same with the babysitter in the closet. There's a shot where the door has just closed, and she's already got blood on her hands when she goes to knock on the inside of the cupboard.
Okay, okay. Nice,
Um,
nice. I thought the way he portrayed the pain that he was
oh,
experiencing, yeah, and there
the
was
performance
definitely,
was great.
yeah, and you got the crush of the fingers on the outside of
Yeah.
the window. That looked really good as well. I
Yep.
thought a couple of shots there really sold it.
It was nicely
Um,
done. Other
yeah,
than there being no blood and then blood, but yeah.
yeah. This whatever this force is, because there's layers to it again. It's nasty, nasty
Yeah.
work, nasty work. Okay. Jody, yes. The imaginary friend. Malevolent. Malevolent nature.
Malevolent. Malevolent.
Malevolent. Malevolent nature. One night, Kathy glimpses two red swine-like eyes. You know that's a pig, yeah? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Outside Amy's second story bedroom window. Delaney makes several attempts to intervene that seem to be thwarted by unusual accidents and occurrences. Okay. Hold on, let me just make sure I don't basically say a whole bunch of stuff and it says the same thing. His phone calls to the home are frequently experienced by Kathy as static noise, and on one occasion,
Yep.
his car malfunctions en route to the house, nearly causing a
Yep.
fatal crash. Okay, what do we think of the car malfunctioning and warping, etc.? My point being, did you have any thoughts, feelings towards the demon coming out of the house and into the
Yeah.
public? Yeah,
So the effect is not limited to the house. So
exactly.
Father Delaney is affected, his breath is affected in the when he's in the church and he's making the phone calls.
Yes,
He and Father Bolton
yes.
are in the car and the car nearly crashes. Later, when they're trying to do the clearance prayer, the statue of Mary is cracking and is falling apart. So
Hmm. Yeah,
the
yeah.
awfulness is not limited to the geographic location of the house. So it feels like
Okay.
the energy leaves the house to protect the house.
Hmm. So, okay, so it's not an illogical thing. It's a preferential thing for me, then, isn't it? Because I
Yeah.
want it to be contained within the
Yeah.
house. Yeah,
I
it
mean, that's
just
the way these things
defines it more for me. Sorry, say that again?
that's the way these things normally go.
Yeah, it takes me out of it a little. But saying that, when the last thing that you said, when the angel's face was cracking from above and falling
Yeah.
down on him, then we're jumping around, sorry. Then he went blind.
Yeah.
Then the camera, we get the shot looking up and the angel's face is together. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
suggesting that's all gone on in his mind. Is he crazy? Is it a demon? Da, da, da. That I like.
Yeah.
That I like. That would have been a better way to work with the force becoming external outside of the house for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be difficult without downloading huge amounts of exposition to
Yeah, I know.
convey
I know.
that
Yeah.
effectively to the audience.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Okay.
Although
Um,
they do it nicely where you see the cracking and then they look back and it's not cracked.
yeah.
Um,
That's the bit. That's the bit. It's great.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's in his mind, in his mind. But when
Yeah.
the boot, sorry, what's it called? What's it called when you pop it open?
Funk.
Of the of the car, and that starts to warp up, that sort of thing. That's just a bit too OTT for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. You could sell it a bit more subtly in a more interesting way than
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Okay, because it's not doing that sort of shit in the house.
No.
It's not doing that sort of shit in the house. Anyway, I'll let it go. I'll let it go. Uh, Convinced there are demonic forces at work, Delaney grows frustrated by the lack of support from his superiors in the diocese. Meanwhile, George's land, we don't need to talk about that now. Meanwhile, George's land surveying business begins to suffer due to his lack of attendance. Concerning his business partner, Jeff. Yeah. What do we think of Jeff? Any thoughts on Jeff?
Seems like a nice guy. Bit
Hmm.
focused on money,
Yeah.
but that's that 70s thing again.
Yeah.
I think he genuinely wants to help them.
He's friends with him, yes, and he is concerned, definitely.
Yeah.
Is he surprised that he punches him? George punches Jeff.
Yeah, that's all dealt with really quickly.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Like he's
And then
just cool. Seconds.
yeah. And then later on, when it happens with Kathy, yeah, and I think the idea is that they both love him and he doesn't act like this normally because when he snaps
Yeah,
out of it, he is completely different. So they want to say,
yeah,
hey, what is going on? Yeah, with Kathy, it does work because she is very supportive throughout. With him, I don't know. Yeah, more of you've got the idea when he says, okay, can we talk now? You've gotten that thing out of you now.
yeah,
It hinted at, oh, this is what these two do. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. I have to point out, the ways it could be better. I have to point out the ways it could be better.
Sure.
Jess was Carolyn, who has psychic proclivities. Carolyn,
Yes.
yes. She was fine. Wasn't no, not too over the top. She was actually quite believable. I've met people like this. What do you reckon?
Got a touch of The Shining.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And 79, eh?
Yeah,
Kubrick. And we have the axe walking up the stairs later on. That definitely, yeah.
yeah. Through the door. Axe through the door.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. So this is worth seeing. This influenced a lot. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is both repulsed and intrigued. This is Carolyn, by the things she feels when at the house. Yeah. She's freaked out. She's shook. Carolyn shook. She shook. In the home's basement, Carolyn is drawn to a brick wall that the family dog Harry has repeatedly scratched at, and
Yeah.
she begins dismantling it with a hammer. Have we missed anything?
No,
No. Yeah, this hasn't jumped
no, it feels
all
like
over
we
the
have
place too much.
the disconnected nature of the film. But yeah, no, we're good.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now, the wall has been revealed. What did we think of the reveal of the red wall? Because I really liked it.
Uh,
Conceptually, I really liked it and then we saw because sorry, we need to touch on this. There has been the idea that has been hinted at, whispered at by the other characters that he's the spitting image of
yeah,
the guy who did all the murders of the house before they bought it.
yeah,
Yes. And the waiter freaks out at one point, the bartender, I think, yeah.
yeah.
And then his face does appear on the wall in overlay 70s style. Please, Baron.
Not his face.
Not his
The
face.
the face they used was his brother, the actor's brother.
Yeah, okay, okay. And is that who they
Close
took the
enough.
was that the photo as well that we saw
Yeah.
prior? Yeah. Okay. Because I was really getting confused. Is the brother possessing him now? Yeah, the spirit of the brother as well as the house. Because we've also had, what was it? Let me remember. This is where the Native Americans basically just dumped their insane people. Yeah, to put it in a 70s fashion. And what happened to that prior? It was the historical reference that was made. Uh, what was his name? He was a witch in Salem. He
Oh,
he built the house on the ground.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're digging into that.
He got
Oh,
kicked out of Salem and he came here and built
yeah.
the house. Yeah,
It's
in
hardcore.
Amityville, New York. Could you look that up? Do you mind while I go into more of the plot? Because
Yeah, you're right.
that's a cool tidbit that I learned. That I learned. Blah, blah,
John Ketchum.
blah. Yeah, say that again, please.
John Ketchum, a witch named John
Yeah,
Ketchum, who
that's it.
supposedly escaped from Salem, Massachusetts during the witch trials and built his house on or near the famous Amityville house to continue his devil worship. And it is reported that his body is buried on or near the property of 112 Ocean Avenue.
Fantastic work. Fantastic work. Yes. Because fuck those Salem dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's another story. And if you want to know about that story, I'm not working for them. I'm just a fan. Go have a listen to last podcast of the left. They do marvelous about 4 or 5 episode coverage of it. You've got about 12 hours of the history of it. Yeah, Marcus knows what he's doing. Okay. George busts down the wall. That's where I got up to. Takes down the rest of the wall, uncovering a small room with red walls. Carolyn in terror shrieks that they have found the passage to hell, and she starts talking in the demon's voice at the stage. Yes.
Yeah.
hmm Now, her voice resembles that of Father Delaney.
She's at least channeling a spirit. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's not Father Delaney. That's what it says here on
No.
Wikipedia. No. Whoever wrote
Ah,
this, no. No, it's obviously the Force. And why I pointed out all those historical references as well. So you've got a lot of evil going on here. So I thought George being possessed by his brother was another part to it because this movie is so erratic and discordant. You know what I mean? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Which doesn't necessarily take away from it because that's part of the distressing factor of this film, of
Mm.
course. Yeah. Discordancy is always used to distress, to affect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Later that night, Delaney prays passionately at the pulpit of God, and that's where we see the cracking angel face come down. Boom. And that's definitely very exorcist style when you think about the falling off the church and, the piercing,
Yeah.
etc. Uh, before inexplicably loses his sight. That's not true because there is the big chunk of the angel face that does fall when he covers his eyes in the next shot. We don't
Yeah.
see the shot, but
Yeah.
that's intentional. That's just suggestive, basically added. That's just, yeah, suggestive filmmaking. Yeah,
Yeah.
by association. Yeah, rather
Yeah.
than one to
Correct.
one. Yeah,
Supposed to just draw our own
yeah.
assumptions.
They used to do that in movies quite a
Ooh,
bit once upon a
theory
time.
of mine.
Okay, and he falls catatonic. Yeah, sure, if you want to call it that. Yeah. He basically is looking into something that none of us ever want to see. He's seeing into the other unknown. He's broken through. It's
Yeah,
very Lovecraftian, I would call it. Yeah. That
I'd agree.
kind of catatonic, if you will, demise. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, not just catatonic. Kathy visits the library to search the property's history. The microfiche, Barrett.
Yes.
Microfiche, yes, of course, because it's in the
It's of
70s.
the 70s.
Do we need to explain microfiche? We do have young listeners.
They do a pretty good job of it in the film. For those people that haven't seen it, was basically you could take a whole page of a newspaper and condense it down to like the size of the head of this
Mhm,
paintbrush,
mhm.
and then you could put the whole month's worth of newspapers on one A4 sheet, and so the machine that they used, the microfiche machine, would blow it up,
Yeah,
so that you
yeah,
could see it. It wasn't best quality, but you could get hundreds of newspapers in the space that a newspaper would normally take up. So it was data
yeah.
compression.
Just trying to think, what's a movie that they know that uses microfiche? I mean, is that before Scream?
Yeah,
That is a watermark film, you know what I mean? For Generation
yeah.
X. Yeah.
Use of mic. I mean, James Bond used it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, but we old.
Yeah.
Yeah, we old.
Use of microfiche in films. Let's have a look for you.
Okay. The priest is still catatonic and she's looking up the microfiche, yeah. And she does find out she finds records suggesting that the house is built atop a shrine cock. Excuse me? Oh, sorry. I read that wrong. That was something. Not quite. It's not a Freudian slip, but it's something. A shinnecock.
Not better.
No. No. It's a reservation. Okay. I'm going to leave that there. It's funny. I could look up how it's actually said. No disrespect, of course. All in good
No.
humor. And that it is a known satanic worshipper. That's yes, they say that there is. This reveals that there is a known satanic worshipper named John Ketchum, who had once lived on the land.
Yeah.
Clippings about the Defoe murders, and that's where she sees the striking resemblance to George. Yes. Does George's brother have a name? Did you say that before, Baron?
So James Brolin, um, George Lutz. Let me bring it up here. So James Brolin's brother, Brian Bruderlin, was actually used for the image of the bearded man seen appearing from the red room in the cellar, who was supposed to be Ronald DeFeo. The studio wanted someone who bore a close resemblance to Brolin and discovered that he had a brother who shared a strong resemblance with, and that Brolin's brother was fitted with a fake beard for the part. So anytime we see Ronald DeFeo, I believe it was Brian Bruderlin.
Okay, excellent. I like that. I like that. And I was also thinking there, this throwback, callback. Remember when we were talking about non-scary, I think it was, horror films, TV shows,
Yeah,
almost over a year, like a year ago, roughly.
yeah.
Now, thank you, children, for a year, by the way.
Yes, thank you for
Um,
sticking around.
the Greatest American Hero episode where he looks into the fireplace and he
Yeah,
sees his inner self, his id, however
yeah,
you want to put it, as inner child. This
yeah.
kind of reminded me of this kind of psychoanalytic approach
And in
to
the episode, they used a very similar effect.
say that again.
In the episode of The Greatest American Hero, they used a very similar effect.
Mm.
See in here.
Yeah, yeah, it reminded me. It reminded me. And it's also probably why it did freak me out quite a bit. And
Yeah,
also, I've written a bit of poetry, spoken word over the years, and a lot of it has been with houses and layers of houses, and yeah, and applied a lot of psychoanalytic based imagery to it. And I think this is kind of yeah. So there's some horror origin story, if you will, there, children of Mr. Popcorn. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for that there, Baron. Appreciate that.
all good.
The paranormal events culminate that night during a rainstorm. It's not just a rainstorm. This shit is Shakespearean tempestuous level.
Yeah.
Yeah, of a
It's
storm.
over the century.
Yeah. Blood oozes from the walls. Yes, it does. So I'm going to say that again with the microphone. Blood oozes from the walls. I loved the blood oozing. I thought
Good
this is
effect too.
fantastic. Yeah, done really well. And that's the way that this is this abstract infestation, this abstract possession, and the way it's shown. This isn't, you don't see this in the other movies. It'd be something thrown against the wall, doors banging violently. No, this is built up to blood oozing out of the walls. It's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Down the staircase, Jody appearing as a large red-eyed pig. Jody. Oh,
Yeah.
you're throwing that out there. That's Jody. What do you reckon, Barrett, please?
Look, uh, you could assume that. I
It's
wouldn't assume
interesting. It's an
There's too
interesting idea. Props to the idea. It's not a bad
yeah,
idea.
but yeah, there's too many spirits in this for it to definitely have been Jodie.
Yeah, and they do reference other spirits. I'm sure they're referred to. Yes, I think it might be Caroline who provides that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Okay, but shout out for that. All right, I'll give you that for this. Yeah. Is seen through a window as red eyes, it's called. That's all you need, black red eyes. And a seemingly possessed George attempts to kill the children with an axe.
Yep.
Here's Georgie,
Yeah.
but regains his wits after Kathy intervenes. This has happened before in the movie, The Regaining of Wits. Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
Brolin again does it really well because he's very loving. And there is the sex scene is actually, I actually don't mind this one because it just
Yeah, no, it was all right.
establishes
It wasn't gratuitous.
no, it established how much they really do love each other.
The
Yeah,
only part of it that seemed somewhat gratuitous was maybe the slightly ballet-esque scene that led to it,
sure.
where she's standing in front of the mirror and you get a bit of
Mhm,
side boob
mhm,
and you see a bit of a
mhm,
bum. Like
mhm.
that was probably a little bit gratuitous, but it was the 70s. But then it led to a
Almost contractual.
yeah,
Mm,
exactly. Yeah,
mhm.
it led to quite a nice scene.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, yes. Okay. So yeah, he snaps out of it because that's right. He goes to chop her in the head with an axe because she has had a dream just prior to this, that he has axed up her children. Yeah, and we
Yeah.
actually see one of her children axed up. So that's what
Mm.
we're talking about. This film does go
Yeah.
dark. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Brolin, when he goes dark, he goes dark. Yeah, the size of the sky,
Good
the
eyes.
lumberjack, kind of the eyes, man, when he goes dark. Yeah, yeah, it's intense. It's intense. And then, yeah, like father, like son. Again,
Yeah.
hope that picked up clearly.
It's inevitable.
Yeah. Okay. And then, yeah, he goes to chop his wife in the head with the axe, and then he misses, and it hits the floorboard, and that's when he boom comes back. Yeah,
And it breaks out. Yeah.
and she embraces him. Yeah, just to establish how this relationship is maintained. Okay, now after falling through the basement stairs, this is George into a pit of blacks. Wow, hang on, please.
Skipped a step.
Yeah, yeah, it has. They escape from the house. Yes.
So yeah, they get in the van and they take off. And then
Hmm.
one of the kids goes, "What about Harry?" Because the dog's not with
What
them.
about Harry? Yeah.
Goes, George goes back to the house to get the dog.
And also, there is a moment, there is a beat, and there's the music switch, which is also done beautifully throughout this as well
Yeah.
to show the Jekyll and Hyde-ness of George. Yeah. And you get the minor key of the strings, and you get the look towards the family, and the family recoiling just a little bit because they've seen him with an axe
Yeah.
trying to kill them
Yeah.
just prior. But done really well. But he goes back and actually, no, he drives off and he not skids, but he stops it askew in the middle of the road, the van. And you're
Yeah.
thinking, is he about to axe them all? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
that. Yeah. It's like, when does this end? There is also the when does this end? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but no, he runs off and he goes to get Harry. And again, he falls down into the, let's call it sludge. And I hope it is a callback to the stuff oozing out of the toilet because that's very cool. That's very cool. Okay, and he falls down. But Harry pulls him out. This was
Yeah.
cool as well because he is
Yeah.
covered in black sludge. He looks like a swamp monster, whatever. And you think the dog bites him on the arm and is attacking him at first.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's the
yeah,
way you what you think. Yeah.
yeah. That's the way you meant to read it. Yeah. And that was cool. Yeah, I even saw the prosthetic head, but it had the big bug eyes, and I even liked that moment. Yeah, the little shot I mean. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But Harry is pulling him out. Harry is pulling him out, which is great because Harry has been basically trying to warn the family the whole time.
The
Yo,
whole time.
this shit is not good. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he pulls him out, and it's now at this point, okay, this is me. This is me again. This is Mr. Popcorn and what he wants to see into a movie because he's kind of twisted. I wanted the house to win at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm
To
going,
have
it's
to have a victory. like
Yes.
to take the dad or take the dog.
Because there was almost that when the door slammed, just as you think he's going to leave.
Yeah,
But no, he does drive away in the van, and they go, thank God, happy, happy. There is a closing intertitle though, which reads George and Kathleen Lutz and their family never reclaimed their house or their personal belongings. Today they live in another state.
yeah,
Yeah. So, they're not coming back to the house. The house
no,
has claimed its territory. And the very last shot after the titles, because the titles are overlaid on the road and just rain, flooded road. Yeah, but a
yeah,
flooded road of rain. Yeah. And yeah, that's it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Interestingly, George and Kathleen Lutz did some of the press tour for the movie with Rod Steiger. So they appeared on some TV shows with Rod Steiger as themselves. Like this wasn't
Mhm,
the actors. This wasn't James and Margot. This was the actual
mhm,
people
mhm. Um,
that press tour.
Okay, interesting. Yes, because we also teamed up with Mr. Warren, Ed Warren, yes, the famous Warrens, and did some
Yeah.
TV appearances and such thing. Basically, a couple of books, I think there was more than that book that was thrown out there. I think there was some other, yes, less reputable, shall we say. They were out to make money out of it, yeah. And the Warrens are still making money out of the Conjuring movies today. Not to get political or anything. I said we were going to, go into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to look into it, look into it. Yeah. Um, it's film, the film industry. We
Yeah.
all know what we mean, children. Yes, we all watch horror films for a reason. Yeah.
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 Because
Okay.
we're
But genre films. Let's say
yeah.
genre films, because I'm a genre film fan as well. Just yeah, yeah. Anyway, what do you reckon of this film? What now we can go a little deeper, a little more specific, and in terms of rating, and then we'll talk about other stuff we've been doing, watching, blah blah blah. Just while
Okay.
it's in
So
our minds.
I'm going to okay, let's put this in parentheses. If you had come to 22-year-old Scott, who had probably seen it not that long before that point,
Mhm.
22-year-old Scott would have said, this is an amazing classic of the genre, and it is 6 stars out of 5.
Okay.
Uh, a lot of
Okay.
that is held up by the book, by the novel. Um, However, the Baron, me now, I think I'm going to give this a 3,
Okay.
but only because it suffers from the editing. Like there's some issues with the physicality of the film that are not to do with the acting and not to do with the story, but it was poorly edited, which I think on this most recent watch, I didn't enjoy it as much as I did when I first saw it.
Okay. Okay. And on the recent watch, was that recent watches or just recent watch?
Recent watch.
Okay. Okay. I liked it more the second time round, quite significantly so.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, absolutely fair. And yeah, good opinionating on a classic. It is a
Yeah.
classic, definitely.
It
Have that
is.
correct. Yeah, I will give it the classic bucket of
If you are
popcorn,
a
just
horror fan,
trying it out.
you have
Yeah.
to see this. Because
Yes,
if you're a horror fan,
must.
you haven't seen this, you have to see
It's a
it.
must if you're a horror film fan. Definitely.
Um,
It's not a
but
must if you're a cinema fan, but you're not really a horror fan.
yeah. So it's
No.
like this and Psycho are
What is it?
they're tame in comparison to
Mm-hmm.
modern
Mm-hmm.
films, but they
But
are
but
classic films.
influential, two of the most influential. Yeah.
Yes.
Because
And
anything haunted house wise, certainly the Conjurings, so influenced by this, it's crazy. Yeah, it is crazy.
I mean,
And
I could
I'm
even Night Swim.
okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, sure, sure. But
Yeah.
haunted house, and I'm a big fan of haunted house movies, of course. I am. Is it a bias? No, it's not. It's not. But it's
Yeah.
huge appreciation that this is. I don't know if it's the OG. I haven't actually looked into it. What's the first? What's the foundation, the history of haunted house films? But that's a cool subject that I will in the future. Um, but this one is so influential of now and done in such an interesting way, and that's why I'm going to give it a 4 because I really liked the way the infestation was portrayed and the way that the monster, i.e., being the house, was shown as such.
Yeah,
Definitely,
yeah.
yeah, and the acting of Brolin, I'll give it
Mm.
to him. Yeah, and the daughter, Amy, Natasha. Yeah, no, they sold it for me as well. Like Poltergeist, I think this shit's all over Poltergeist. Again, just me. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I'm
me
really
too.
glad I rewatched it. Definitely. Am I going to watch anything else? I'm going to watch the Ryan Reynolds one just out of curiosity because enough people I know like it and it's been talked about enough. And I want to see Ryan Reynolds go dark to see if he can actually
Yeah.
pull it off because I've been told this is him going dark movie. Baron?
It is. It is. So, the very first haunted house film was a film called Le Manoir de Diable, or The Haunted Castle in English, which is not a direct translation, by George Méliès.
Oh,
Uh,
it's a melees. It's that bad. That way back. Jesus Christ.
yeah,
Because that, what is that? 1800s?
1897.
There we go. Yeah,
1890.
exactly. Yeah, basically, here is a stage. But yeah, Journey to the Moon, Trip to the Moon. That
Yeah,
I think it's Trip. That's the big one. If you want a little, yeah, a bit of cinema history where it began and basically where we got, magic in cinema.
yeah,
This guy's the origin. This guy's
yeah,
the real, not a train coming towards you, but doing film tricks. This guy.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
I've just
absolutely.
found an interesting little page. I might have to link it. I'll put it in our chat actually. I found an interesting page called A Brief History of Early Horror. And it's really fascinating. We might actually be able to go back and we'll go back and see if we can find some of these early films and watch them.
That's great. That could be a whole series, yeah, for our next series, expanding on
Yeah.
what we have. Yeah, I really like that idea.
Put
Yeah,
it in our group chat.
yeah. See how people feel. So, and let us know how you feel there on that idea. Definitely. And yeah, we could bring some people in that way
Yeah.
as well. We've got some interviews coming there. Children, shout out Christian of Christian Fletcher Events. He's going to come and talk to us about Russ Meyer, Valley of the Dolls. You must come on to that episode there, Baron, of course.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Because he knows a lot about that stuff. He
Yeah.
knows people who are involved in that stuff.
Actually,
Um,
given his roaring 40s cinema stuff that he does, he might actually have links to where we can get some of these earlier horror films from.
absolutely. Because to hold our own screenings would be great in the future.
Yeah.
Let's dream. Or maybe even our own live popcorn.
Live pod.
There, Baron.
Yes.
Shall we start it off? Shall we start the promotion off right here and now? Because we're basically only a couple of weeks behind. We just need to plug a couple of weeks ahead, and we have a few months. And we want this to happen because I've talked about
Yeah.
with Cade, shout out Cade. Yeah, we're going to start it off for you now. Splatfest. I've talked about Cade having
Flatfest
a horror festival, and Cade has basically picked up the mantle and said, let's go.
early next year.
So let's go. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's asked us to be MCs, and we've both said yes. Yeah. So it only makes perfect sense there, children, that we hold a goddamn fucking live podcast.
Why not?
Yeah.
So we should pick something interesting for the film for that as well. So if you've got any ideas of what you think we should do for our first live
Mm,
podcast, people, please type to us. Um, so we will
please.
pick the most popular. We'll do a poll or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Skankfest comedy show, Zach's Midnight Spook Show. Zach and Miko, shout out. I was watching it today. They were watching Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Mhm.
With a live audience, yeah, and there was about 5 comedians on stage. So of course there was a professional amount of riffage going on. You know what I mean? They
Yeah,
can still talk, but still have the movie understood by the audience, etc., etc.
yeah,
You'd need the right movie. Killer Clowns from
yeah.
Outer Space, very good choice
Mm,
to do that. But I'm just throwing it out there. There is the potential of a watch along, live watch along.
yeah,
And that way, also, if it's at a horror movie festival, you could also drift in and out. You don't have to stay for the whole movie. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
And just stay for the
Yeah.
come Q&A at the end.
Yes. Yes. Um, what's body melt? Let's scream body melt. Cade knows that.
Oh,
Cade spoke to them. We could get the guy, surely. Yeah.
yeah.
The substance is big. If you like the substance, watch body melt.
Actually, it's pretty much the same film.
So I've heard. I have heard that though. I've heard that. I
Yeah,
haven't
yeah,
seen Body Melt. I haven't seen Body Melt yet. I'm going to though. We're going to cover it. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. But yes, so um, how do we start this off then? Write to us ideas of what you'd like to see at a horror convention. Yeah.
Yep.
Baron, you're fucking, this is your
Yes.
world, this is your game, yeah. the
Yeah.
the cons. So yeah, and to have a horror convention because yeah, it's a really good way just to meet people, to network, and they build. It's a huge business. It's ridiculous that we don't have horror ones here when every other genre is covered pretty much.
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
I was in line when I was in line to get an autograph at Oz Comic Con just recently, and there were people behind me were going, "Yeah, it's really weird
Oh,
that
really?
at horror conventions."
There you go. Okay. The
Um,
audience, the general, convention audience are asking for it if anyone overseas is listening as well. You know what I mean? Um, message me, yeah, and then I'll message other people. Yeah, there are promoters here who organize that stuff professionally, of course. This is Australia, not New Zealand. No shade. I lived there for over 30 years.
I like going to New Zealand. It's one of my favorite places in the
Yeah,
world.
of course, it's beautiful. Um, watched anything interesting?
Um,
Yeah.
well, I mentioned Bad Monkey last time. I've been really enjoying that.
Ah, okay.
I would mention Chaos, which is the Greek myths done in a TV show, but it's been cancelled. Like they've got one
What
season and
about
then
horror? Not to be a stickler, but what about anything horror?
what did I watch recently? Oh, I've been watching the Jack in the Box films.
What is films?
Yes.
What is this? What is
Uh,
this?
there are four Jack in the Box films.
Hmm.
They are not great, but they are fun.
Hmm.
Obviously done on a
Slashers.
shoestring. Kind of supernatural slasher, where basically there is the premise of the films is there's a Jack in the Box that holds an evil spirit, and if you open the Jack in the Box, it will kill
Hmm.
six people. If you are the person that opens the Jack in the Box, you can't be killed by the Jack in the Box, and then you get a wish at the end of that. Um,
It's not bad. There's things you can do with character, their
yeah,
choices and such. Yeah. Yeah, that's not bad.
I've seen three of the four. I haven't watched the fourth one yet. And they're very cheaply made. Like they are
Oh
not
yeah, of course, of
big
course, of course.
studio
Yeah.
films,
But hey, that
but
doesn't deter me. Puppet Masters. Love them.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But the prop work on the Jack in the Box is great. And the various things that come out of it are excellent.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and the acting's okay for a small feature. For generally, it feels very independent, basically. But yeah, I would suggest them. They're never going to win an Oscar. Put it on, have a bit of fun with it. Yeah, but yeah, Jack in the Box.
Fantastic. Where would they watch this?
They are on Tubi and Shudder, I believe.
Ha! The two prime, the king and the queen of the streaming
Yeah, yeah.
platforms.
Let me just double check that.
Hmm.
Yes, Tubi. Uh,
Fantastic. There you go.
please find this.
Okay. Anything else you wanted to mention?
No, we'll just do usual shout outs.
Hold on. I've got some watches I'd like to.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yes, I
Yeah, no,
apologize.
all good. Because I have decided to do, and I am actually up to date. I've got to watch a film tonight, but that's okay. I was going to anyway. Because I have nowhere tomorrow, so that's okay. I call it the 30 days of horror films. What I call 30 days of horror films of Halloween. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm up to day 9. It is the 9th. Yeah. And
Yes.
I decided to, as I said before, I'm doing all the slasher franchises from beginning to end. I've seen bits and
Ah,
pieces throughout the years just so I've got a clear referential database of everything because they're talked about all the goddamn time. And, if I'm going to
sure.
do this, we need to know the Rushmore, placements. So I've done all the Fridays. So that just rolled into this challenge. Yeah, if that makes sense. And it started about number. Oh, where did I start? Like Manhattan, I think. I take that back. It was the Peculiar Part 7, the New Blood, with the psychokinetic chick and the father. If you've seen it, you know what I'm about. Yeah. Anyway, overall, though, it did up my opinion of Jason. Yeah, he's a far more interesting slasher villain killer than I
Yeah.
thought he was. Yeah, because I didn't think anything
Those
much
two
prior.
people.
Yeah, 2, 4, and 6. They're my top three,
Yeah.
and all in different ways. So I'm not going to choose one, but they're all kind of come at different angles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite moment, Crispin Glover, of course, dancing
Uh,
to whatever the song was, but he was actually dancing to AC/DC. Akadakers, Back in Black, which is
yeah.
amazing because when you see him dancing, he goes, "There's my boy." There's my boy. Because I loved his portrayal of, oh, you want to see a jock? I'll show you a jock. If you know Crispin Glover, you know what we're getting at here. Yeah. Yeah. He's one of the ultimate art weirdos of Hollywood, definitely. Wait,
Did you see?
you know,
Did you see
huh?
the Wizard of Gore with him in it?
The Wizard of what? Gore.
Wizard of Gore,
No.
Gore.
Sounds good.
It's pretty good.
Hmm.
Okay,
I'll
it's
check
a
it out. I'll
recommendation.
check it out. River's Edge. Seen that with Dennis
No,
Hopper?
I
Yeah,
haven't seen River's Edge. No.
that's a crazy one. He's great. He's classic.
If you're
Uh,
doing slashes,
mm,
um, I would suggest, and you're gonna start to poo-poo this until all the words come out of my mouth.
okay.
National Lampoon's Class Reunion.
Okay.
It's
The slashes.
it's the first. It's I think it might be the first spoof of a slasher.
Oh, no. Well, let's cover that. So let's put that on there. Let's cover that together,
Okay.
list because me and Dorian did Scary Movie.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So that works. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Because that's going back. What is it? 80s?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh, it is forward. Where'd I go? National Lampoon Class Reunion. 1982.
Whoa. Okay, there you go. There you go. Like Blade
It is an
Runner era.
American black comedy film. Uh,
It's Chevy
in the film,
Chase, yeah.
no, no, no,
No.
no, no. So in the film, a 1972 graduating class of a high school is gathered for their class reunion in 1982. They're unaware that among the guests, an escaped mental patient who wants revenge for a decade-old sadistic prank, which had ruined his life and sanity. After several deaths at the reunion, the surviving alumni team up to discover who is their secret enemy.
But it
Um,
gets violent. There's horror
yes.
elements.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. I'm
there's
with you.
some really nice kills in
Okay.
it.
I'm down. I'm down. Okay. Have you seen The Substance?
No, not yet.
Okay. I'll shut up and then I'll wait till you've watched it. Yeah.
Okay, okay. It's
Yeah.
on my list.
Oh, worth saying, see it at the cinema.
Okay.
Definitely see it at the cinema because just visuals and sound alone. Yeah. It's made for the cinema. Do you know the VHS films?
Yes.
Yeah. I've watched 1 and 2 and Viral. 1 and 2, excellent. Number 2 in particular.
Yeah.
There's one called Safe Haven. I want to get this right because it's great. It's the Indonesian film that's there's mostly spoken Indonesian with no
Yeah.
subtitles. It's in the
Okay.
facility, school, hospital, and then they commit the suicide with the guns at the end. That thing, my gosh, it's chilling. Yeah, it is so
Okay.
chilling. Yeah, really, really good. Safe Haven. Yeah, yeah. This short film alone, check it out. Check it out. If you don't know VHS films, just quickly, playing
Yeah.
on the found footage genre, they are found footage films. They're
Yeah.
reveling in it, and there's a wraparound theme uh, that starts off the film, and that's interspersed by short films, short ultra violent films, yeah, made for found footage by different directors. It's often used as a showcase platform to launch people's careers or get exposure, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You probably all heard this. Yeah, I'm speaking to about 3 people out there out of the one people per person out of the 13 that are listening. This is what the VHS are films. If you found footage films, definitely check out the first two. But they dip and then they vary wildly in quality
Sure.
from film to film. Yes, um, because then there's viral, and viral is wildly bad.
Oh.
Wildly bad. The skating one was interesting. If you know, you know. Yeah, I'll give some props to that, but the support the wraparound theme, the interspersing theme, was largely the O.J. Simpson car
Uh,
chase sets off the zombie apocalypse. Yeah, I'll say that again. The O.J. Simpson car chase sets off the zombie apocalypse, and go,
I've
oh
only seen
right,
the
so
first one.
we've dipped. Yeah,
Yeah,
we've
I've
dipped.
only seen the first.
Number two's real. Yeah, you've
Yeah,
seen number
it's
two.
my favorite.
94 is worth checking out. 94 is worth checking out.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a Rat God film that is good. Yeah, that's all I'll say. um, okay, going back to Instagram here. If you follow me at Popcorn of Evil at Instagram, yeah, I just put up an image of everything that I've watched, so I've got a tally. And that is and the last one is the Penguin TV show. Okay, you seen it?
Yes. Oh, I
How
love the
good?
Penguin.
How
Great.
good?
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen the most recent because that should have come out. Is it last night?
Yeah, I think it's last night. I haven't
Yeah.
watched the latest yet either. Because I'm doing this.
Um, if you like Batman,
Yeah.
anyway, into the whole Gotham thing, if you liked Mark Reeves,
Matt Reeves.
thank you. His Batman, Patterson's Batman, and you liked Colin Farrell as the Penguin. There he is, Poppy. This show is great. If you're
Yes.
into crime stuff, yeah, Godfathers, Goodfellas, Heat,
Yep.
onwards and onwards, you're into all that. It's great. Yeah. The hybrid of the two is Chef's Kiss. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying. Yeah, Baron.
Matt Reeves has said with the ongoing Batman movies and the Penguin TV series, they're not going to go into the weird stuff of Batman. So there's not going to be super powered people. It's just going to be like
Okay.
low level
Okay.
Batman and like the Penguin and the Joker and like just normal stuff, no superpowers.
Excellent.
And they
So
are
it's trying to do
they're
what it's
referred to,
doing what Gotham, the show, tried to
yeah,
do. Yeah, but properly.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
Sorry to interrupt.
yeah, no, that's okay. They refer to these films and like Joker as well, the Joker films as what they call an Elseworlds. So they're not in the
Thank
normal
you.
continuity. They're a
Okay.
branch.
Segue. Joker Folle Ado is meant to be poo. Sorry, just riffing.
Didn't hate it.
Oh,
I
you've seen it.
wanted
Excellent. Go, go. Don't
I
worry about
didn't hate
spoilers.
it.
Just go.
I wanted to hate it because of the reviews. So I think I went in with lowered expectations.
I can understand. Understandable.
Um,
It's like long legs in reverse.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Um, so if you saw the first one, it's not as good.
I
The
did.
second one's not as good.
Okay.
Lady Gaga is I'm not going to say amazing because I say amazing too much. Lady Gaga is transcendent in the film as Harley Quinn. Uh,
Transcendent.
yes. The
Okay.
physical work that Joaquin Phoenix does as Arthur Fleck, the Joker,
I know what
is
you're talking about. Yes. Yeah.
it's a tour de force of acting and status work and yeah, without going into too
Okay.
much spoil, there is a background character that popped out for me every time they appeared, and then they become integral to the climax of the film.
And you liked all of
I,
this?
I liked that.
Okay.
Um,
What
I think
didn't you like?
I think that they lent too heavily in to this is a musical.
Okay. Ah,
So,
that's
so
off-putting because I'm not a
a
fan to
lot of
begin with, but I was going to give this a chance because I love the first one. Continue.
the reason I didn't hate it is because I didn't see it as a musical. I saw the musical interludes as further descent into madness. So
Okay.
it was another way Arthur Fleck was divorced from reality.
Well, that's Dancer in the Dark did that, but Dancer in the Dark did that phenomenally. And that's objective. I don't care. That the way that's done is just a tour de force of
Yeah,
filmmaking. But not so the case. I'm
yeah.
not trying to pull out negativities or anything.
No, no,
Just
no, no, no.
getting a clear
It's
picture.
it's worth seeing. I wouldn't say it's necessarily worth seeing at the cinema.
Oh, okay.
Wait till it's on. Wait till it's on
Streaming.
stream.
Okay,
But if you
that's good.
did want to see it at the cinema, you won't be. Well, I wasn't disappointed. I don't feel I wasted my money.
It sounded like it needed the fuck out of a werewolf, though.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. It needed two werewolves.
two werewolves.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay,
But
that's a shame. That's a shame. Is it the end of this Elseworld of
I don't want to
Gotham?
say. I don't want to say because there's a thing that happens at the very end that I don't want to
Okay.
spoil for people.
All right, all right, all right. I hope Matt Reeves develops his little sub-universe his little
Yeah.
galaxy that
Yeah.
he has began to develop. Because
Yeah.
to go back to the Penguin, if you haven't seen it,
Yeah.
if you're curious, please watch. It
Yeah.
works. Yeah, they've done it. Yeah, they've done it, definitely. And that's pretty much where I've got up to. I am not going to watch Freddy versus Jason because I know it pretty much by heart. Big fan.
Oh,
It's like watching
yeah.
professional wrestling. It's a comfort film, that film for me.
Yeah.
The remake, I tried to watch it once and turned it off after 10 minutes. I've heard enough about it. I know what I'm
Okay.
going to go see, and maybe one day, but no, I want to move on from Jason. I'm going to start with the original Halloween. Yeah, that's what I'm watching
Yep.
tonight because I looked it up before.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm going to go from there, and I'm going to watch all of them. The
Yeah.
zombies, the David Gordon, no, not David Gordon Green. What's his name? Is it David Gordon Green?
It's something like that. Hang on.
Who did The Exorcist, and they went, "No, you don't." Flanagan.
Planet. My Mike? No.
It's not Flanagan. No, no, no. The guy who Flanagan replaced after he
Yeah,
did the
yeah.
terrible Exorcist remake, which I haven't seen and I'm not going to because I don't want to waste my time or money.
Uh,
And I'm not going to. So what's another one with that? I'm not going to see The Crow. We're not covering The Crow. If you guys on the rest of the cast want to go nuts,
yeah, I
I'm
heard
not
too many
doing it.
things about it.
Yeah, yeah. Just everyone was just like, yeah, turd, turd of a film apparently. And how dare they?
So we're looking at the director, aren't we, of Halloween?
Yeah, the new ones, like
Yeah.
the 2018 Halloween. Do that because that's him.
I mean, it's not John Carpenter, that's for sure.
No,
Um, Blom.
mm.
Uh,
Gonna cover this,
director,
guys.
Rob Zombie, 2007, 2009. David Gordon Green,
That was
2018.
correct. Oh, that was correct. Okay, cool, 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 cool. Yes, yes. Even Halloween ends. I'm gonna watch Halloween ends. Yeah, because that's where it went. Yeah. Um, Chucky. I know Chucky. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm good with Chucky. I'm gonna do the Dream Warrior saga of Nightmare, if you will. Yeah, I'm going to start from there because I know the first three.
Yeah.
Very much know the first three. Yeah. Um, and see where we go from there. I'll probably move on. I'll probably be sick to death of fucking slashes by that stage. And want to,
Of
minimal
course.
slow burn art house. Where's Lamb? Where's A24's Lamb?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what are you up to in 2 to 3 weeks' time to be on the safe side there, Baron? Anything going?
Um, well, we've got Supernova coming up.
Cool.
It's coming up, so that'll be something interesting. Um, but that's in 4 weeks' time. So we're looking at sort of 2 to 3 weeks' time. Are we thinking sort of around that 31st of this month? We're making that sort of a Halloween sort
Yeah,
of
let's do that. Let's do that. Yes. Yeah, why not? That makes sense actually for what
we
I'm
should
going to be up to. Yeah. So
well
go
you'll
ahead.
be
Yeah.
up to a bunch of stuff with Evil Corp, I'm guessing.
Evil Corp and Escape Manor. Okay, so Evil Corp will be open Friday, Saturdays.
Yep.
I'm not sure about this weekend, but definitely the weekend after, and certainly for the Halloween weekend. Yeah, and just keep an eye on our socials because there's going to be other stuff coming up as well. We always have a day for the kids as well, so you can take your little spooks along during the day, and then we'll come along and play. So get them out of there quickly. Escape Manor is doing Blackout, where you get to do all the rooms in the dark, and we're going to be roaming around as scare actors, myself in particular. Already did some Lewis Cipher filming today. Yeah. And
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
fun. Shout out Jeremy, who is Beetlejuice at Movie World for the whole month of October, in particular Fright Nights. He works at Escape Manor and got to work with him. He's a great scare actor of Brisbane. He got to work with him in the asylum, doing a little Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster routine, and that was great and intense. Yeah. So yeah, if you're a fan of escape rooms and horror Halloween, definitely
Yeah.
come along. Certainly Cabin 13. Yes,
Yeah.
look it up. Go to the website. It's the
Uh,
best. It's the
yeah.
only in the Southern Hemisphere, the only escape room we have a live actor in the room with you the whole time, the most immersive room there is, definitely. But yeah, Baron, please. Halloween, what are you doing?
Um,
Plans?
what's that?
Plans?
Plans? I don't know yet. Haven't got anything solid, concrete and solid. I thought I might do my Shaun of the Deadpool costume again now that I've got some upgraded bits for it.
Mhm.
Um, and I bought the head pool popcorn bucket, which is a 1-to-1 scale skull with the half a mask and stuff. And I've decided if I'm doing Shaun of the Deadpool, I can make him my Ed Pool.
Excellent.
I've bought a brown hat and I'm going to put. I've got wood on it and I've
Excellent.
propellers. It's got little shovels. So
Yeah,
yeah, I might do
that's
Shaun of the Deadpool.
hilarious, absurd, and genius. Well done.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely. Um, yeah, so we're gonna go see we'll go see Terrifier 3. We're gonna do some more Australian horror films. Myself and Dorian are working our way through the horror iceberg and we're getting dark. We're doing Salo, 120 Days of Sodom. I have to watch this goddamn film again. It's based on Marquis de Sade's 120 Days of Sodom, written by Pasolini. Yeah, so yeah, but that guy definitely. Had a really good segue and it's gone. Memory. I need some of that Joe Rogan. It's the last time I would say his name on this podcast. Some of his Nutra blah blah brain for the memory. Okay, yeah, I can't wait. You looking forward to it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. See what they do go and see what they do, see where they go, and that goes towards Terrify 4 has been confirmed. I'm sure you all know it. But that's been yeah, it's just going to continue. We have a new slasher icon.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was Jigsaw and now there's art. Yeah. Mm,
Mm.
mm. I'm running out of things to say. He's wearing a mask at this stage. Covered the Halloween. That yeah, we're just
So let's just do some plugs and bring this creaky old beast to an end.
I did them. It's the thing.
Did
Yeah.
did your plugs? Well, I'll do my plugs then.
Ah, I'm going to be auditioning for Evil Dead. Yes,
Evil
there's
Dead the
lots of
musical.
evil in my life. I follow the evil. Evil Dead auditions are happening. It's going to be happening at Evil Corp come January. Pretty sure I have that right. I will inform you if I'm wrong.
Okay.
And I've thought about it. I was going to go for Ash. I was all inspired one night at Evil Corp. Let's go Buck Wild. I can sing within a certain range,
Yeah.
like the wise man, that song, say,
Yeah.
only fools rush in. I can sing that song
Yeah.
great at karaoke. I have a very good specific baritone range.
Sure.
Um, I'm not going to get Ash, and I don't have the confidence to pull out an Ash because I'm
Okay.
not a musical performer. I've never done one. There
Ah.
is one guy though, Baron, on the casting. Um, they've sent this out. Anyone can read this. I'm not blowing up anyone's spot or NDAing. Is the old guy at the gas station in his 40s who goes to the children, "You're doomed, doomed,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
doomed, doomed." I could pull off that, I reckon. That's what I'm going to go for. And
Yeah.
I think, and I like that role, yeah. Because remember him from Friday the 13th?
Yeah.
He'd pop up like a mad French man on his bicycle, grinning
Mhm.
away. "You're doomed, children." And it's classic. Since Texas
Yeah.
Chainsaw, I think, were the first to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah, and that's definitely all my plugs. Barrett.
Sure. All right. Well, I will plug Act React, who are down in Melbourne at the moment doing Speed the Movie the Play for the Melbourne Fringe. So go
Mm-hmm.
along and see that. They're there for a couple of weeks, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I will always plug Improv Queensland. We've just been up to North Queensland and done the North Australian Festival of Arts. We had twice as many people come and see us this year as last year, so that's great.
Fantastic. Shout out. Cool. Good.
Who else? IFWG Publishing. So
Mm.
the Cthulhu book comes out, I'll make sure people are aware so they can buy the hell out of it for us. Uh,
Absolutely.
Supernova, I'm going to plug them. I've got it's a 3-day event this year in Brisbane, so do come along to that. A couple of big guests there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One of the
Cool.
doctors from was going to be there. Adam Savage from the Mythbusters is going to be there. So
Okay.
my beard is unkempt,
Are
so I'm going to
you
do
going? Are
the.
you going to get? You're going to go for a job? Just go for a job, man.
Uh, so
Excellent.
yeah.
Excellent. Yeah.
Uh, so yes, I think that's about it. What
Okay.
else?
Um, let
I've
me
got
bring
a
up.
podcast. It's called Evil Popcorn. Never gonna get sick of that joke. Yes.
I am
What?
thinking about expanding the evil universe with a
Okay.
music podcast called Evil
Ooh.
Buds. Get it?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because I've done a lot of during the pandemic where I basically started podcasting. The very first podcast I went on, someone hit me up online because I post a lot of random music videos. I like your music taste. You want to come on my podcast? For the YouTube viewers, you've got a great visual site there. Um, and yes, and I've always enjoyed it. Yeah, and wanted to
Yeah,
do
sure.
it more. So anyone, yeah, here, of course, yourself, of course, there included, Baron, and just basically reviewing an album that you want to bring to the table. And
Ah.
let it go from there. But that's how, yeah, you start off. And it can be anything,
Ooh,
anything.
interesting.
Yeah, anything is the thing. And it's fun. Music discussions are far more loose than film, far more loose. Yeah. Yeah. And they can get far more opinionated as well. Yeah. I reckon. I reckon.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Music's important. Music's important to people. Okay. I'm looking up a fellow filmmaker, film fan, film lover, Duncan. I just want to get his name right. I believe it's Peak. Nope, it's not that. It's Dustin, isn't it? Come on, come on, come on, come on. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me now. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Have you heard of Where's Weirdo?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Yeah. What'd you think?
Look, I liked it. It's my kind of
Mhm.
thing.
I'm not getting too self-promotional here or anything. Yeah, I know I'm in it. And Gabby Carbon, great performer of Brisbane and
Yeah.
artist, shout out. She's often at Evil Corp at the front as Nurse Wretched.
Hmm.
She is in it as well. And it's a play on Where's Wally, if Where's Wally was a,
Duncan Peake.
monster. Say that again.
Yeah, Duncan.
And
You
I'm
were right
just
when you said Duncan Peake.
Duncan Peake, sorry, I thought he would come up on Instagram and he didn't. Anyway, blah blah blah. Yeah, I will post it up on Evil Popcorn. Follow us at Facebook, Instagram at Evil Popcorn Pod, as well as YouTube, Spotify, Apple, whatever those weird robots you have in your house. Apparently, they host podcasts, so blah blah blah. Amazon, whatever they're called.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Alexa.
yeah.
No, I'm not feeding. Go away.
Okay, so yeah, so Wolf Creek, thank you. Really good response. And thank you all sincerely, children, for
Yeah.
following us for a year. We are definitely building. We're getting some really good views. Consistently, we've definitely gone up. We've consistently built enough to gone up, when we're, touch wood. I know it's not all about the views. It's just more about what we want people to see this. You know what I mean? We're not trying to be influencers here or anything. As I've said before many times with Dorian, and I'll say it with you, Baron. I want to create a community of basically film heads here, film lovers, certainly horror fans, of course. Yeah, well, we create a little community basically where we just go nuts and chat about it because that's what we're addicted to doing. Definitely, if we get money out of it, hell yeah, of course. But that's not why we're here. Need to throw that out as
Correct.
well. But thank you for years of being with us here in our little dark, twisted, funny cinema.
Mm.
And yeah, and we have Wolf Creek out there. Love Lies Bleeding's I'm going to be working out, putting out this week. Uh, then there'll be this one. And so what are we doing next?
Ooh. I wouldn't mind doing. I know. I know it seems like a theme now. I wouldn't mind doing Rogue.
Should we go classic for a while?
Yeah.
And that's Australian as well. So that
Yeah.
goes into the series. And yeah, so and what did we touch on with Rogue? That was memory. Jesus
Ra-
Christ.
Razorback.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Razorback. Yeah. The director of Razorback. That's his
Hmm.
classic crocodile crocodile. Yeah, it's a croc. Yeah,
Yeah.
attack movie, not to confuse the Americans.
No.
Yeah, so no, okay,
And it's
cool.
got John Jarrett in it, so there's another link back.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Yeah. Because Scream Queen's going to be rejoining us. Bat, always come back whenever you're ready and able to. Scream Queen's going to be joining us after October. So let's do that. Then we will go back to the lists, yes, for the films that we have been sent us. Yeah. All right. We'll make a promise. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. A pact, if you will. So yeah, we've done that. We've done the flippin' Amityville Horror. Done it, children. It's a biggie.
Yeah.
Wow, one day we'll maybe do The Exorcist.
Ooh.
Ooh, Scream Queen's. That's one of Scream Queen's favorites.
Mm.
That's yours, Scream Queen. Yeah,
Yeah, we won't touch that.
you won't touch that. Yeah, yeah. If you ever wanted, and Tremors, that's yours.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm not going to do Blade Runner in here, but I've done Texas Chainsaw Massacre. When Evil Lurks. Now scroll that. That's mine. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but that's got to be, yeah, that's, yeah. I want to treat that one respectfully. Yeah, come prepared, come correct with that one. Yeah, because that says a lot. That says a lot, that movie. That a lot of people don't want to approach because of the the way it shows. It does not tell what it's talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've seen it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Would you cover that, do you reckon?
I don't know.
Hmm.
Maybe.
Okay. Okay. Just curious at this stage.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any last words, Baron?
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think we're good. It was good. This was an epic one, but good to be back. Good to be back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
Good to be back with you always as well, there, children. And I would say sleep well, but your goddamn house could be violently, demonically haunted.
Yeah, yeah.
So there you go. Good night. Shh. What do you always say there, Baron, to the children?
Go to sleep, children. Go to sleep.